Before the sky came into being, before the seas surged or the mountains rose, the universe was nothing but chaos, a realm of emptiness, invisible and silent. There was no light, no sound, no trace of life. The world had no shape, existing only as a vague dream yet to be formed. And then, from that boundless chaos, the first entity emerged, a primal force, vast and powerful, carrying within it the seed of all existence. She was Gaia, the Mother Earth. No one created her. She was not born of any god, but was the first living embodiment of the cosmos, the foundation for everything that would come after. Gaia was not merely the earth in a physical sense. She was the soul of nature, the first heartbeat in the void. She gave birth not only to the land, but also to the sky, the oceans, the mountains, the mighty gods, and even the darkest of forces. Life took root within her. From her body, generations of deities were born, some loving, some vengeful, some rebellious. Gaia was the first mother, the origin of all things, and yet she became the witness to the bloody battles among the divine beings she had given life to. A goddess both mighty and lonely, nurturing yet filled with fury. Today, let us turn back time and return to the dawn of the cosmos, to uncover the journey of Gaia, the forgotten creator, the mother of all beings, and the source of every Greek mythological tragedy. After emerging from the endless void, Gaia, the great Mother Earth, began to shape the world with her own body and soul. No tools, no spells, no incantations were needed. With only the raw power coursing through the universe's veins, she created everything. From her heart, Gaia gave birth to Uranus, the vast blue sky. Uranus stretched wide and cloaked Gaia like an endless mantle. Together, earth and sky became one, forming the first foundation of the physical world, a place where life, love, and later war could exist. Gaia and Uranus became the first divine couple in the universe. Their love was unlike anything humans know. It was the merging of ancient elements, the rhythm of newly born existence. From this union came the first generation of gods. Gaia gave birth to 12 titans, immense beings representing nature's primal powers. She also bore 3 cyclopes, one-eyed giants who could forge thunderbolts, and 3 hecatoncheires, monstrous beings with 100 arms and 50 heads, manifestations of uncontrollable force. But Uranus, the endless sky, was plagued by fear. He was terrified of the power his monstrous children held, especially the Cyclopes and the hecatoncheires. Fearing rebellion, Uranus cruelly imprisoned them within the earth, that is, within Gaia herself, causing her immense pain. Every breath she took, every quake of the mountains, was the cry of a mother forced to swallow her own children. That agony turned into wrath. Gaia, with the heart of a mother and the wisdom of a creator goddess, could bear it no longer. She secretly forged a sickle of adamantine, an eternal metal, and approached her Titan children. Among them, only Cronus, the youngest son, dared to act. With trembling hands but fierce resolve, Cronus took the sickle and waited for the right moment. One night, as Uranus descended upon Gaia as he always did, Cronus emerged from the shadows, swung the sickle, and severed the sky's dominion forever. The blood of Uranus spilled onto the earth, and from those drops, new beings were born, the Erinyes, Furies, the Gigantes, giants, and the first seeds of impending tragedy. With that act, Cronus ended Uranus's reign, and a new era began, the Age of the Titans. In that moment, Gaia may have believed the cycle of pain had ended. She hoped her son, the one who dared to rise, would become a wise king, bringing peace to the world she had painstakingly created. But history rarely moves in a straight line. It spirals through power, ambition, and fear. Cronus, after usurping his father, became the leader of the Titans. He married his sister Rhea and began his rule. Yet, like Uranus before him, fear of betrayal began to take root. An ancient prophecy echoed. One day, a child of Cronus would overthrow him, just as he had overthrown his own father, and so the cycle began again. Each time Rhea gave birth, Cronus seized the newborn and swallowed it whole, trying to defy fate. Hestia, Demeter, Hera, Hades, Poseidon, all were imprisoned in their father's stomach, never seeing the light of day. Gaia, the mother of the universe, once more bore witness to the destruction of her own lineage. She, who was born to nurture, life now saw destiny repeat its cruel pattern. She could not remain idle. This time her hope lay in an unborn child, the youngest of Cronus, Zeus. When Rhea became pregnant with Zeus, Gaia and the sky goddess Uranus whispered a plan to her: deceive Cronus. When Zeus was born, Rhea secretly took him to the island of Crete, a distant land guarded by gods and beasts. Instead of handing over her real son, she gave Cronus a swaddled stone, and Cronus, blinded by fear, swallowed it without question. On Crete, Zeus grew in secret. Goddesses, sacred creatures, and Gaia herself silently watched over him. When he came of age, Gaia instructed him on how to concoct a potion that would force Cronus to vomit up the children he had imprisoned for so long. And so the war began, a cataclysmic battle between two generations of gods, known as the Titanomachy. On one side stood the Titans led by Cronus, representing the old order, primal power, and brutal domination. On the other stood Zeus and his siblings, heralding a new age, hope, and transformation. Once more, Gaia stood between opposing forces. She was the mother of both the Titans and the young gods. And perhaps, the sorrow in her heart deepened as she witnessed her own bloodlines torn apart. Yet Gaia knew, life never stands still. It must evolve. The old must be broken to give way to the new. The war raged for 10 years. In the end, Zeus emerged victorious, casting the Titans into Tartarus, the dark abyss beneath even the underworld. A new era was born, the age of the Olympian gods. In that very moment, Gaia, the Earth Mother, grew distant for the first time. Her heart began to crack under the weight of loss. Her Titan children had been exiled, her grandchildren had seized power, and the spiral of betrayal showed no signs of ending. Gaia no longer believed peace could endure in the world she had given birth to. Deep within the earth, Gaia began preparing for another uprising. This time, not with gods, but with monsters. A fury simmered within her, and the being she would bring into existence next would be the most terrifying creature the cosmos had ever known. Typhon, the final embodiment of Mother Nature's wrath. After Zeus triumphed in the Titanomachy, the world seemed to enter a new era, an age of order, light, and divine rule under the gods of Mount Olympus. But for Gaia, the great mother of Ayam, the universe, this was no victory. It was a deep and aching wound. She could not forget her Titan children imprisoned in Tartarus, a realm so dark and agonizing that not even light could reach it. Though they had erred, though they had ruled, with tyranny, they were still her offspring, born of her blood and soul. Zeus, the grandson in whom she had once placed her hopes, had repeated Cronus's mistake, eliminating every threat to his throne with brute force and punishment. From that pain, from generations of suppressed fury, Gaia resolved to create a creature unlike any the universe had ever seen, a final weapon to challenge Olympus, to avenge the Titans, and to remind Zeus that no power could reign forever. By joining forces with Tartarus, the bottomless abyss where the Titans were imprisoned, Gaia gave birth to a terrifying being, Typhon. Typhon was unlike any god or monster ever known. He towered, higher than mountains, his head brushed the stars, and his eyes blazed red like the fires of hell. Instead of fingers, he had hundreds of venom-spitting snakes. His voice sounded like thunder, and with each step, the earth quaked and the sky darkened. He was the embodiment of absolute chaos, the living fury of Mother Nature. When Typhon rose, all Olympus trembled. The gods fled, hiding in forests, oceans, even transforming themselves to avoid him. Only Zeus, the king of the gods, stood his ground, facing Gaia's final storm. The battle between Zeus and Typhon was cataclysmic, stretching across days and nights. Zeus's lightning tore through the skies, But Typhon did not fall. He spewed hellfire, hurled mountains at the gods, and at one point he tore the sinews from Zeus's hands, imprisoning him in a cave. For a moment, it seemed the monster had won, but with the help of Hermes, and perhaps the last sliver of reason still flickering in Gaia, Zeus recovered. He reclaimed his weapons, summoned the universe's fury, and unleashed the most powerful bolt of lightning ever recorded. It burned the sky, shredded Typhon's soul, and hurled him to the earth. Zeus did not kill him. Instead, he banished Typhon deep beneath Mount Etna in Sicily, where he still thrashes and roars to this day. And whenever the volcano erupts, people believe it is Typhon struggling to break free from the god's chains. After Typhon's defeat, Gaia withdrew in silence. She no longer resisted Zeus, not because she acknowledged his rule, but because she understood the war between divine generations only bred more blood and sorrow. She returned to her role as the world's foundation, quietly nurturing life, no longer judging, only watching. Gaia did not vanish. She remained in every breeze, every rock and tree, in every earthquake and volcanic eruption, as a reminder that nature is always stronger than any throne, and that if mortals or gods ever forget that, Gaia will rise once more. With Typhon buried deep in the earth, the world once again found peace. On Mount Olympus, Zeus and the gods established a divine order, crafting laws, dividing power, and bringing light to humanity. But amid the grandeur, one entity remained, silent, ancient, and eternal. Gaia, the Earth Mother, who had created all and witnessed all. Gaia no longer intervened in wars, no longer summoned storms or sought justice for the fallen titans. She had come to understand that the cycle of birth, death, and rebirth was the eternal law of the cosmos. All life, divine or mortal, must abide by this cycle, and Gaia herself had created it. From that moment on, Gaia ceased to appear as a mighty deity. She hid herself in every grain of soil, in the heartbeat of deep forests, in the rise of spring, and in the fury of natural disasters. She became the place all life begins, and the place all life returns. No matter how powerful the gods, none could escape the embrace of the Earth Mother in the end. Humans, though not born from her as the gods were, have always felt her influence the most. The ancient Greeks believed that every fruitful harvest, every timely rain, and every fertile land was Gaia's breath. They built temples, offered tributes, and prayed for her protection against droughts, floods, and earthquakes. For they knew, when Gaia grew angry, the whole world would tremble. On a spiritual level, Gaia transcended even the gods. She became the symbol of cosmic feminine energy, the mother of life, the soul of the earth. Later philosophers like Pythagoras and Plato spoke of Gaia as a sacred being, intimately connected to the deepest nature of humans and the natural world. Even in modern times, the name Gaia lives on in ecological theories, like James Lovelock's Gaia hypothesis, which views Earth as a living, conscious entity capable of self-regulation and existing as a unified system. Perhaps Gaia's greatest legacy is not the Titans, not Typhon, and not the battles with Zeus. It is the warning she left behind, that nature cannot be tamed forever, and that all power, even divine, will fall if it forgets its roots, balance, and reverence for the earth. Gaia, though no longer present on Olympus, though no longer part of the gods' power games, remains the silent pillar upholding the world. She sees all, endures all, and loves all. Without a throne, without a crown, Gaia remains the most powerful goddess, for none can live without her. And so, even if the gods of Olympus forget, even if modern humanity turns its back on nature, Gaia is still there, waiting, silent but proud, ready to rise again if the world loses its way. Not to destroy, but to remind us all, Mother Nature is the origin of everything. From the primordial chaos to the brutal wars of the gods, Gaia, the Earth Mother, has always been there, silent, enduring, and eternal. She needs no weapons, no throne, for she is the source of the universe, the cradle of life, the final boundary no force can cross. In every step we take, In the whisper of the wind, the rustle of leaves, or the fury of a volcano, Gaia is present. Though the gods have faded into myth, though humans now build cities instead of temples, Gaia still lives, in every heartbeat of this earth. The story of Gaia is more than Greek myth. It is a reminder that if humanity forgets its roots, if it destroys nature, then Earth Mother's wrath will rise again, like Typhon once did, to restore the balance the universe so desperately needs. Listen to the earth, love nature again. For Mother Nature never demands, she only waits for us to recognize the value of what has always been there.
Thank you so much for taking the time to watch the video. If you found the video helpful and interesting, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss any future videos. Wishing you a wonderful day, and see you in the next video.